be an interesting night.
It is going to be an interesting night. I don't know if it's going to hold up streaming,
I'm
so
right
we're
next
just
to my
recording.
Wi-Fi, so hopefully mine will hold up.
You're right next to the computer.
I'm right next. It's right here.
It's right there.
I'm going to switch to the good Wi-Fi. Otherwise,
Oh god.
Oh, that could happen. That's what happens when you switch to the good Wi-Fi.
I'm now on the good Wi-Fi, which is the dongle.
Oh god. Please, for the love of God, Wi-Fi, stay together.
Okay.
I know you're going through a storm, honey, but stay together.
Yeah, we got this. We got this. This is fine. We can do this.
Hurt,
Stop eating spice.
but I
Why did you
enjoy it.
torture yourself?
Okay. While Aiden tries to kill himself with spice.
No, purposely.
Currently, Fino, you are just kind of wandering around a little bit, around the medical bay area. It's quite a large area. There's probably a good 6 different buildings that you've been floating between, helping where you can. You don't have much medicine or medical experience, but you've been making potion runs, and you do know someone taught you how to bandage a leg and that kind of thing. So you've been replacing bandages and all of that kind of thing, just helping out wherever and anywhere you can. Warren and May. Currently you are laying on your front because your wings are kind of a little bit misshapen, or they have been for a while. Do you want to roll me a 1d4? A d4.
Oh no, this is gonna... We got a 2.
You got a 2. Okay.
Too bad.
Still alive.
You are able to fly.
Yes! I'm not blinded anymore.
Currently, overnight, a healer had come and healed your wounds almost completely. You still have several burn scars going down most of your chest, but your fairy wings replenished themselves, weaving themselves back together. Warren, you refusing to leave May's bed as she rests, just curled up on the very end, as May is a slightly shorter fairy. You were able to just curl up on the edge of the bed. Healer also coming and healing all of your wounds. Your most of one half of your body is still scarred, and there is still a large slash over one eye. The eye that was cloudy is now clear. It's still slightly blurry, like you could use glasses, but you can see out of it. But most of your one half of your body is scarred. It doesn't hurt anymore, though. Adira, you are currently chained to a wall. Gerald has been out of it the entire time. Peacefully snoring away, occasionally quite loudly. So you've just been kind of drifting in and out of sleep as one of your wrists is clasped to the wall. Warren and May, you were both waking up. Fino, you've probably been up 60-70% of the night. You've had a couple hours sleep here and there, but spent most of it awake tending to other people.
Absolutely.
So, does anyone want to do anything?
Food.
Call for food.
Food.
Just sort of uncurl from position on the bed, or sort of do a little jump onto the floor and start wandering off to find Amy, was it, for food?
Okay. You do, after a while, find Amy. You do, after a while, find Amy standing at this kind of large cart. It's got a lot of. There's one half is just stacked to the brim full of bread rolls, and the other having some kind of one pot full of some kind of stew, another with porridge, and there is a smaller cart or large crate full of various kinds of fruit. Some you recognize, others you don't. A couple of which are moving, and you're not sure how, because they don't have legs.
Okay. Can I try and figure out why they're moving?
Yeah.
Just like do the little kind of head tilt to the side, like the whole sort of.
Hi.
There's Amy, who's an older orc, and there is a satyr, with her male satyr, kind of dark brown hair, dark brown fur on his legs, with this kind of just a black shirt that's completely unbuttoned. He just kind of slowly watching you as he like scoops some, like into a small bowl, scoops some porridge, and then picks up another small bowl, still watching you as you just kind of sit there tilting your head, staring at this thing, and like your hand reaches out to touch it, and he just goes, you don't want to touch that. And you just kind of look up at him.
Yeah.
Just trust me, you don't want to touch that. Those are let's just say they're for the fairies. They aren't for your kind.
I know one.
You know a fairy?
Yes, Sparkly. She's back in bed, and just like point towards me, like Sparkly.
Yeah. A lot of fairies tend to be sparkly, and he just kind of weirdly picks up this purplish, rigid fruit, and it still kind of wriggles, almost like a large larvae, in his hand, and he just kind of breaks it in half, and it turns into almost this dragon fruit kind of effect, pink in the middle with purple seeds. He just kind of puts it on a bowl of porridge and hands both bowls with spoons to you. One with the weird fruit, one without. You need any more bowls? Or is it just you two?
Usual adorable stuff.
It's just us two.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem, little one. And he just starts like piling food into more bowls.
Warren just sort of like picks up these balls and starts to like very carefully, like a child who's carrying something that doesn't want it to spill, just kind of staggers forward slightly, like I don't know. Just pauses for a minute, turns around and goes, "I need a fish.
You need a fish?
I need a fish."
He kind of like
Just not a.
just freezes in putting porridge in a bowl and stares down, just like you can tell he's thinking. He's like, where the fuck can I get a fish?
Just like, I don't need a big one. It's just a small one. No part of a fish. I just need some fish.
Just like a little fish.
Like a little. Yes, a little fish.
Okay, lovely.
And he just kind of nods his head slightly, puts whatever down, looks to Amy, and she just kind of shrugs. It's just like, just get the kid a fish. Like, I don't know, get the kid a fish. He just kind of walks off into. You notice as he walks away that there's this large, almost box, but it's actually made of ice. And he lifts off this ice cover, and kind of sticks his hand in, and pulls out this fish, which has been pierced through the middle with a stick. Replaces the large lid, and just kind of holds it out to you. So it's just a raw, almost like a piece of haddock, just on a small stick.
It's like Warren's holding these two balls. His hand is like, this is the moment of just going, what do I do? Just kind of like bites the stick with his mouth and just goes,
From
starts walking off.
From behind you, there's just this large. You can kind of feel this very large presence from behind you as two like green hands just reach forward and take the bowls from you. And Amy's just standing there going, "Come on, little one, let's go see Sparkly." And there's a muffled woo as you've still got the stick in your mouth. You've got empty hands and you're still like acting like you're holding bowls. And you're just like, woo! But like it's muffled by the stick that's got a fish on it. It's like Amy's just standing there with like one hand with two bowls, and there's like 4 balanced on her other arm.
Warren kind of starts walking back towards where Sparkly is. Part of the way through, remembering that he does have hands and that he doesn't need to hold the stick in his mouth, he goes, and just kind of takes that and goes, I forgot. And continues walking.
Amy just kind of like lightly chuckles and like shakes her head slightly as like using one arm just like hands out random bowls to whoever hasn't got food. And then you two slowly make your way over to Maylee's bed, and she places the bowl with the weird fruit on Maylee's lap. And Maylee's kind of like sitting there, back pressed against the wall, kind of a little bit disorientated and a bit dazed. She's still kind of lagging in her sleep. Yeah.
Just like Warren takes his ball, it puts it on, like turns towards the bed, puts it up where he sits, turns towards where he's had his little scarf thing with like the gem that is knife, and just sort of like puts the stick with the fish next to it and go, breakfast, and then climbs up and starts eating his porridge.
You hear this like from such a big person, a very small gasp. And it's like a choked, oh, and then she just like, have a nice breakfast, little one, and just walks off. Not entirely sure what to do with herself. So instead she just hurries along and starts taking more bowls of food to people.
Okay.
Okay. Maylee, you are currently sitting slightly dazed in bed, and you just kind of like fluttered your eyes open as you've just been disorientated in like the distance, and you've just got this. You suddenly feel this warmth on your lap, and it.
Hey.
You realize looking down that there's this bowl of porridge with this pink and purple fruit that you do actually recognize.
Nom nom.
You can never remember what the thing is called, but you know you like it. Because they used to have a lot of them in the monastery.
Okay.
Mina, are you still with us?
Yes. Hello.
Hello. So you're kind of just, Adrea's just slowly waking up. There's a gruff voice as this armor-cladded man shoves a tray of food on the floor through the bars of your cell towards your feet. And with this flicker of magic, your cuffed hand is no longer cuffed to the wall, and you are able to freely move. Gerald's still out of it.
For God's sake, Gerald, wake up.
And the guard says almost exactly that. Instead, he just kicks the older man, kind of in his leg. And Gerald just kind of like shuffles awake and goes, "Whoa! What do you want?" The guard just kind of roughly slams down this metal tray with this stew and some kind of cracker looking thing with a glass of water. He goes, "Food," and just keeps walking.
Okay. Then I will just peacefully eat my food.
Just gonna peacefully sit there, eat your food. It's a very watered down, some kind of meat broth with what you assume to be vegetables, but you couldn't be quite sure if they're vegetables or just some kind of weird mush.
What's soup?
And there's this large bread crackery thing. It's very dry and kind of feels like sawdust in your mouth, until you realize that you need to eat a bit of the cracker and then take alternative sips of water. And once the tray is completely cleared, the guard comes back, and instead of saying anything, he just slams his fist on the bars of the cage, and they rattle. Kind of, your hearing's fuzzy. It's not quite right. You're not entirely sure why. But you kind of look up and he just stamps his foot a couple times on the ground, just pointing to the tray and stamping his foot.
Okay. I just I don't go up towards him. I kind of just push it, so that I don't feel like he's going to try and attack me. I just push it a little bit, putting it towards his foot.
He just kind of leans down and just like gruffly grasps it, pulls it out, slams it into this weird looking trolley full of things. Gerald's hardly finished half of his meal, but does manage to grab the cracker off of the plate before the guard just kind of huffs and pulls the rest of it away and throws it into the trolley. But Gerald doesn't make any noise as the guard just shoves the trolley along. He seems to be some kind of... You can't exactly see his face as it's completely covered by a helmet that's just got a slit just going across his nose. But from what you can see of his face, he seems to be this around about 8 foot tall, armor-cladded orc. And from the way that he talks, you can tell that he doesn't really know a lot of English.
Okay.
Or a lot of common.
I'm back.
Can I kind of just like... I can speak. Hold on, let me check something. One sec. Sorry. One sec. Okay, yeah, I can speak orc. Can I kind of just say thank you? Although I can't really hear him. But can I just kind of like say thank you in orc?
He's kind of started to move away as you make this... To other people, it's kind of this just gruff grunt. And he kind of turns his head. And he just turns back to the trolley. And you just hear in Orcish, back at you, "I'm not supposed to talk to other prisoners." And he just pushes his trolley and walks away. And as he walks away, you do notice the large chain-cad cuffs around his feet that have only enough chain to allow him to take one small step at a time.
Oh, lovely. Okay. I just sit in the corner, kind of just like chill vibe.
It's damp, cold, and you are currently you have none of your stuff, so you are wearing a very thin tunic shirt with a pair of trousers that are torn and patched back together and reach barely above your knees.
Okay.
Currently have no shoes. And there's a little bit of straw at the bottom of the cell, but it's mainly just concrete.
Lovely. Can I kind of just like talk to Gerald and ask if he knows anything or what happened to anyone?
As you ask him if he knows what's happened, what's been going on, he just kind of looks up at you from across the hallway. He's also sitting in a cell identical to yours. He goes, "You took off that necklace. Everything went white. Everything hurts. And apparently you're being prosecuted for the murder of 6,000.
So, what? But okay, that's a lot of people. I didn't mean to do that. I never meant to do that. I was just, but okay. And I kind of just curl up in a ball in a corner and just like kind of silently sob to myself as I realize what I've done.
Gerald kind of sits there almost as if he wants to say something, but isn't entirely sure what he could say or what he should say. And he just kind of, you do hear out of the corner of your ear, "It'll be okay. It'll be okay." And the way that he says it, you can't tell if he's trying to reassure himself or you, or both of you.
Bet on both.
Probably both of us. Let's be honest.
We're stuck in a concrete box. Of course it's both of them.
Okay. Fino,
Yes.
my buddy boy. You are currently, there's no one to be tended for. Everyone's just kind of having breakfast. You've had some porridge that you were handed to by some random person out of nowhere. There's a lot of people just randomly handing out bowls to whoever doesn't have one or hasn't had one. Occasionally people are turning away bowls because they've had 2 meals. Because no one's quite sure what's exactly going on. Everyone just knows that they want to be fed. So you're just kind of sitting. There's a couple of other people around you having quiet conversation about something you're not entirely sure about. And you're just kind of quietly sitting, listening in. Not really paying much mind to their conversation, more paying attention to your surroundings. You currently are not in the same medbay as Warren and May. You are on the one opposite theirs. So there's 6 in kind of a rectangle formation, and you're in the middle one, and they're on the opposite side. So is there anything you would like to do? You know from distant chatter that's just kind of been going around the med base that there is still a couple of market stalls are still running, people just trying to get their businesses back to normal. The northern side of town is almost completely normal. The southern side of town is more or less wrecked, and looks more like a refugee camp currently.
Is there any
Alright.
chance I can try and visit Adria without Warren? Sorry, Warren.
It's fine. I have to find friends, so
Because obviously
That's fine.
they didn't let me, because obviously I had a child with me last time.
We will come back to that in a second, unless Aiden doesn't want to do anything. Is there anything you would like to do, Aiden?
You mentioned stalls. Could I go check if anyone needs help there?
Yes, you absolutely can. You kind of not really paying much mind to the other. There's probably about 3 other guys just kind of sitting around a small table, just eating and talking about news from around town. You aren't exactly familiar with the gossip. The names don't really ring any bells. As you just kind of push yourself up, remembering that someone had mentioned that a couple of stalls were trying to be put back in place near the middle of town. You know that the southern side, as you you're walking through, making your way to the marketplace, which is more in the middle of the town. Not a lot of the marketplace was destroyed. You can see that as soon as you walk in. Most of the marketplace is intact. The outer edge of the southern side, the buildings are a little bit rocky. There's cracks in the walls and that kind of thing, but nothing like further down the south. People are just kind of patching up, maybe a little bit of paint work. By the looks of things, the most that happened in the middle was paintings falling over, that kind of thing. Nothing too drastic compared to the amount of buildings that have been destroyed on the other side of town. Currently there are maybe a dozen vendors already set up. Quite a lot of them with just random knickknacks. There's a small gnomish man, quite old, looks to be in around about his maybe his 400s, graying hair and a bubble hat, who's kind of sitting there talking to himself as he whittles. He's got like a cart full of random toys, all made of completely of wood. As you look around, there is a kind of a more elfish woman who seems to have this cart full of clothes, of ranging of colors and designs, and she's got like half of her cart set up and she's trying to push the rest out, but she is struggling.
Could I go help her since she mentioned that she's struggling?
Yeah. So you kind of walk towards her, and you can instantly see how it opens, but you can tell that normally you would need two people, one on either side, to just pull it open. So you just kind of, without saying anything, pull one side, and as soon as she realizes what you're doing, she grabs the other side and you help to pull it open, and instantly it kind of unfolds itself, pops up, and two racks come out with hangers full of clothes in varying colors and designs. Thank you. I thought I was going to be here for an age.
That's no. That's no problem. Happy to help.
Well, thank you. Can I get you anything for your trouble?
What type of clothes do you have in blue?
Blue. I have dresses and shirts. I have some more cloaks. I have this blue, and she pulls off this dark blue cloak with a fur hood. I have this one. That's one of my more expensive pieces, as she like kind of shows you the side, and it's completely embroidered with different kinds of snowflakes in blues and whites, trailing along the edges. And she's like, well, I've got skirts, I've got baggier pants, I have like trousers, and she's just kind of pointing out every blue piece, and it's literally any kind of color you could think of, and every kind of piece of clothing you could possibly think of. She has it.
All right. I'd like to ask how much that cloak is. I'd like to purchase it.
This one, I'd say just about 5 gold.
5 gold.
Yeah.
All right. Do you accept platinum? Or no, never mind. I have gold.
She just kind of, for a second, looks slightly stunned. Just like, I'm kind of glad you have gold because I don't think I'd have enough change for platinum.
Well, here's the gold.
And she just kind of takes the fur coat off of its hanger and folds it up neatly, and just hands it over to you, scooping your gold into a small tin. Anything else I could get you?
Don't think so.
No.
If you need help, I shouldn't be too far away. I should be here for a while.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But seeing as I have my stall set up, I think I should be okay now.
All right. Thank you for the cloak.
No problem. And she kind of pulls out this stool that she gives it a little shake and the legs pop out. She sits down and pulls out this shirt that she's been embroidering with different patterns and flowers.
All right.
Okay. Make me a perception check.
Okay. I hope I found the dice that doesn't have anything missing. $19.
19. Currently looking around, you can't really see anyone who's having any trouble or needs any help. There is a younger, I had a list. Where's my list? Bear with. Where'd you go? Aha, found it.
Where'd you come from? Come at Joe.
I found it. It's fine. There is a... Why do you keep doing that? I found you. Now you're gone. Oh, another orc. There's an orc. Weirdly enough, he's incredibly tiny. He's probably around about, you could say at a guess, 4'2". Not much bigger than a halfling. And he's just kind of pulling out these bottles, which are probably around about the same size as his hands. Because this poor small, he looks like an orc. He's about the same size as a halfling. His hands are probably about the same size as an orc's. But they're on tiny arms. And for a second you're very, very confused. And he's trying to pull all of these bottles out with the these massive bottles, and he's just kind of prepping them. And he pulls out this box, this small wooden box, and he kind of opens it, revealing loads of sets of different rings and brooches.
All right. Is that all that's happening currently?
Looking around, a lot of people are just kind of minding their own business. There's a couple of, it's not very busy. There's a couple of vendors and things. There is a dwarf man with a very large, fiery looking animal kind of walking slowly through the center of town, with this large Goliath standing behind him, holding like 2 giant handfuls of what looks to be tons of different kinds of metals. And there's a couple of these, some of them are in like large stacks, a couple of them are like smaller, thin poles. And there's like long slates and that kind of things. And in the out of the corner of your ear, you do hear this loud clatter of metal as a few from the middle just kind of slide out from underneath it.
All right. Could I go help out with the metal carrying?
I am going to need you to make me a stealth check. No, not stealth check, a strength check.
I was about to say, like,
Strength.
I'm trying to help, not to like. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm here. I'm helping. Oh, I tied up my case. I'm blind. I was trying to look for my D20. That's the check. That I was looking wrong area. Well, that do be a 4.
You're a more nimbler elf. Spending a lot of your time in different townhouses and mansions, occasionally a castle. You try your damned hardest to pick up this long, thick pole of metal, but you can't lift it off of the floor. And luckily you haven't like hurt yourself just yet. And the small dwarven man, who probably doesn't even like reach your hip, just kind of turns around and goes, "Oh, he just kind of walks up, goes, thanks for trying, laddie." And he just kind of scoops up this long metal pole that's probably like the same thickness as your arm, and just hoists it onto his shoulder, just kind of turning his head slightly to make sure he doesn't knock out your shins, as he just starts walking like it's nothing.
Then you hear Fino falling to the ground. Oh, okay. Could I help that small orc with the bottles and stuff instead? Since I can't carry
You kind of
metal.
just go to wave your hand to the dwarf, but he's already like gone. With the large fire thing. You're not entirely sure what it is. You've never seen anything like that. Just kind of prowl behind him. So you kind of watch. It's more of a. It almost looks like a cat, but it seems to. Every time the wind blows, it moves with the wind. As if it is actually made of just pure fire. You kind of turn around, walking over to this very tiny orc. And he's just kind of standing there, like trying to pull things out of this crate. And he just lifts his crate up, and he just turns around and goes, "Oh, hello."
Hello. Need some help there?
Yeah, that would be great. Could you grab those small vials? My hands are a bit. I got a lot of grip. I always seem to break a couple.
All right.
He kind of
do that for
reaches
you.
in, grabbing the heftier stuff, and putting it onto the table, just kind of neatly laying it out. Large boxes of rings and brooches in the front, and you can tell that he's got larger bottles at the back, going into the smaller ones. As you take the smaller bottles out of the crate, I am gonna need you to roll me a. We'll just say a straight dexterity.
That's still not as good.
Looks like you're gonna have to put this dice in dice prison in.
I had one good roll. I hit the dice to my hand, so I didn't count the first one. But the second one, though, made no 7. 7.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to do me a favor.
Uh-oh.
I need you to take your weird 100 dice. You have one of these?
Percentile dice.
Yes.
Percentile. Oh, okay.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
I
take-
got mine.
You're gonna take this one, and you're
Uh-oh.
gonna take your D10.
Uh-oh.
And you're gonna roll them both together.
Uh-oh. Well, that no good. 80 and 2.
80 and 2. That is actually pretty good. Okay.
Is it?
It is. It is. You're gonna roll me a D12.
Okay, I'm just gonna clear up my whole dice because that's what we're doing.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm making you roll the dice.
Yeah, you're making me roll every single dice I have.
Yep.
Like, I'm just waiting for the others. Okay. Come on. Be good. That's not good. 5.
And you pick up these 5 small vials. you realize you probably shouldn't have picked up so many at one time as one slips. And you go to catch it in one hand, and it grazes your fingertips as it smashes on the edge of the box. The small Orcan man turning around in an absolute rush, and for a split second you think that he might have pulled a muscle in his neck from getting whiplash, and he's just kind of standing there stock still, staring at this green liquid. He's just like, which one did you drop?
Do they have labels? I didn't check if they had labels.
Well, it's not turned into a green goo monster. And it's not burning through the wood. So it might have just been a potion of leaping. And we should be okay.
Okay.
But you might want to put the other bottles down before you break another one.
Yeah, I'm going to do that, since you just told me that there's a monster in one of them.
They're magical potions! What do you expect?
No monsters. I said I expect, but monsters? I'm not going to question you. No, not you. This,
Don't question me.
Me can't words. You're all right. The monster?
He's just kind of staring at you, completely weirded out.
Can I rush out?
You
In
can wait
embarrassment.
2 seconds for me to find a fucking dice. There it is.
See, that was purely my error of English there.
He just kind
Not why I
of
meant to
stares
say.
at you for a second, and before you can rush away, he does grab your wrist. His large hand wrapping around the majority of your forearm. Would you like to resist?
Well, no.
Okay.
Because I don't know how strong you are. And I would prefer not to test that.
And he just kind of... The grip on your forearm doesn't hurt. It's strong, and it's pretty much unbreakable. But you can tell he's not trying to hurt you. As he just kind of tugs you over and just shoves you down into a seat in front of your cart. And he's just like... And then, out of absolutely nowhere, and you're just sitting there stunned for words, as he starts medically examining you. And getting you to open your mouth and stick out your tongue. And paying close attention to your eyes and your fingertips. And he's just kind of muttering to himself quietly. No. No. Maybe? No. And then he's just... he kind of pulls off one of your shoes and looks at your toes and just hardly puts one of your shoes back on, and you're still kind of sat there just with your mouth gaping open. He's like, huh, have you always had a problem talking?
Well, not really.
His face turns from this slight smirk at you giggling to this look of sudden seriousness. He just goes, "Not really."
No. I can talk sometimes. Proper. But one.
That was not a good display of proper common, but we will move. He just kind of like looks back at your eyes. And he just kind of turns and looks like, still like staring at you, but kind of turns his head slightly and shouts over his shoulder, "Hey, Sylvie! You come and look at him!" And you hear this older, this older dwarf kind of walks over, blonde beard, like tied in like lots of tight plaits, and her hair tied back into lots of blonde plaits. Occasionally there's a golden ring, and near the bottom of her beard is two conjoined what look to be wedding rings at the bottom. And she kind of walks over and goes, "What do you want? What do you want, Ash?" And the small orc just goes, "Can't talk, and I think he's got red in his eyes." And Sylvie's just kind of standing there, just kind of looks and just goes, "Oi! Stay still!" You just like completely freeze up as this small dwarf just kind of stares into your eyes, grabs this small mirror off of the side and just kind of flickers it into his eyes. Goes, No, I think he's good. Keep an eye on you, though." It's been happening a lot around here lately. She kind of like leans over to you hushly. A lot of things been happening with gods and world takeovers. But just being careful. We've already got one thing trapped in a dungeon. Can't really have more.
Fair. Fair.
And Sylvie just kind of turns to the younger orc and just goes, "Do you think he just has a stutter? You couldn't have just thought that he has a stutter, could you? Like, maybe he's just a little bit socially awkward and he has a stutter." And he just kind of, this small dwarf just raps this kid on the head with the back of her hand and walks off and just goes, "Kid's got a fucking stutter. Stop annoying me with this shit." And just walks off.
What does red eyes mean?
Oh, there's this god. His name's Asmodeus. But he's not really a god. He's like this big genie guy. and he kind of tried to take over like the entire world at one point, or so they say that. But then other people say that this other lady god of the water, who isn't quite what she seems, tried to take over the world. There's a lot. And as you're talking to this orc more and more, you're realizing that it's actually a kid who's probably about 10.
You know your history, don't you?
I mean, I get it drilled into me every day at the monastery. Or it did, till the monastery exploded.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. I don't know where I'm gonna go for school now.
I wish I could help you with that. I'm definitely not a good person for teaching, so I can't help.
Yeah, you can't talk.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for being obvious. I can't talk.
I'm sorry. I'm a little
That's
forward.
it's fine.
What's your name?
Fino.
Fino. Like Finn. Fish.
Did I hear that your name was Ash?
Yeah. Technically, it's Ash Lee, but no one calls me Ashley.
All right. Good name.
Yeah, thanks. I gotta go and look after potions. I'll see you later, fish. And he just kind of walks off and like shoves the cart like more into the middle of the marketplace, slightly away from your stool, as this smaller halfling gentleman walks up and starts talking to Ash.
Yeah, I just got called fish. Fish? Fino was just baffled on why he was called fish.
And suddenly you feel like this large hand tap on your shoulder. And as you turn your head, there's Ash once again, and he just goes, I forgot. You have my stool.
Ah, yes. Sorry.
Can I help you with anything? Seeing as I was a bit touchy-feely. It was very wrong, and I've just been told off, and I need to apologize, so I'm sorry. Can I help you with anything?
What potions do you sell?
Oh, I got
That could-
anything and everything. My dad makes them.
Nice. What do you have in store that is like reasonably priced? I can't speak.
He just kind of chuckles, and like his entire body like chuckles with him. He just goes, "You mean reasonably priced?"
Yes, that's.
All the stuff's reasonably priced, I'd say, personally. I don't price it myself. So, but you can come see if you want.
Oh, I'd love to. I would like to see what potions you have.
Okie dokie.
Preferably not. I'm preferably not wishing to buy any potions that's containing monsters.
Stay away
I-
from the green ones.
You mentioned 3 things while
Yeah.
when I spilled one of the green ones. I fear the green ones, and one of them is useful.
Well, and he's just like, he kind of like picks up the stool and waddles over as he talks to you. Well, you got acid vials. You got potions with weird green goo monster things. Don't know what they are. And then you've got potions of leaping, which let you jump really, really high.
All right. Are any of these potions labeled at all?
Yeah. And he just kind of looks at them and you realize that they all have small tags written on each of them.
Okay. Maybe I should have double checked that I could read.
Well,
I can
seeing
read,
as you
by the
can't
way.
talk, I don't know how good your reading is.
My reading is better than my talking.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, what potions do you have? Just tell me a few that you have.
Okay.
That I probably can't see.
So you do see that there's a bunch of different sized red ones, which you instantly recognize as health potions. In different sizes, varying from like massive ones to like tiny ones. There's a couple of like muddy colored ones. And he goes, well, that one is a potion of animal friendship. Makes animals like you. That's very nice when wolves start attacking, because they aren't fun. This one is a potion of clairvoyance. And he points to like a yellowy liquid, and he kind of shakes it slightly, and for a split second you swear you see an eyeball floating in the liquid, and he puts it back down.
That's quite a literal potion.
And in the next one he points to, there's layers of different browns and grays, and he goes, well, this one's climbing, and this one, and he points to like a cloudy white liquid, is flying, and that one, and he points to a transparent liquid which has got almost bits of red. You're not entirely sure what it is. It looks like some kind of bark floating in it. He goes, well, that one's giant strength of fire giants. That one's growth. That one's invisibility. That one's mind reading. And then you got rings. That one's cool. I like that one. That one gives you invisibility. That one stops you from getting hurt from fire spells, but only fire spells, not actual fire. Magic fire. It's kind of cool. That one can change your appearance. Also very cool. That's just straight up poison. And that's acid. That's fun.
Okay.
Oh, there's also water breathing. And a water breathing ring. And snow resistance. That one's cool.
All right. How much would the Ring of Alter?
Changing your appearance?
Yes,
It's the Ring of Altering Self. It's got a spell embedded in it. See that? And he points to like the small ritual that's been carved into the ring. That you wear it, and it does the spell Alter Self. And after 30 days, it becomes permanent. So if you don't want it to permanently change you, you got to take it off after 30 days.
Wouldn't I have to take it off before the 30 days, since it'll go permanent?
Yeah, before 30 days.
After 30.
Just don't keep it on for 30 days. Otherwise it changes your thing permanently. So it's 30 uses. And then if you put it on 31 times, it makes it permanent.
Okay. That's useful and also terrifying for the 31st.
I mean, some people like that.
I'm sure they do.
Had a couple of creepy guys come through here. They had really weird looking teeth. And they bought one of those. And then they had less weird looking teeth. Still slightly weird, but less weird looking teeth. Made him quite handsome. He was very happy. Oh yeah, price is 40 because it should be 50. But I was mean. So you can have it for 30. Because I like you, fish.
All right.
And he gasps slightly as he picks up this like cloudy green bluish fluid, and he goes, every fish needs to be able to breathe underwater. And he just kind of puts it on the edge of the table. And this like giant toothy grin. As he's just kind of standing there. He's not even like sitting on the stool, he's standing. Because he's that short.
Alright. Okay. I would like to take that potion, please. And the how much is the potion actually? I should be asking first.
And you have it, fish. You need to be able to breathe underwater, and if you don't have any underwater breathing spells, you're gonna die, even though you're a fish.
Drowning as a fish. That's something new.
Some fish can drown, I'm sure.
I
Titans
haven't seen
can
one
drown.
yet.
Tritons can drown. Tritons can drown.
Okay.
You know what a triton... Wait. You not know what a triton is?
No. I don't
big,
know that much.
They big and blue, and they got like scales and like fish ears. And sometimes they live underwater. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't, and if they don't live underwater for like the first part of their life, if they stay underwater for too long, they can drown, and that's not good. Because that
Damn.
means they die. There's a lot of tritons near any kind of points in the general direction that you know to be Squall's End. He's like, by a seaport end, there's some tritons over there.
All right. Good to know. Are they dangerous, by the way? I want to know if they're dangerous or not.
Sometimes if you go into the water ones, can be a bit like, they're not dangerous, they're more just like territorial. They don't really like people being in their stuff. Which, you know, that's a normal thing. No one really likes their stuff being stolen. But other than that, most of the ones I've met are nice.
All right, I'll keep that in mind, and I'll be sure to stay out of the waters, so then they can.
It's the big squids you gotta watch out for. Big squids.
How big?
Like giant squid. Also water elementals. They can be fun when they're dolphins, but when they're not dolphins and they're in that big forest, don't go near a water elemental in that big forest. It doesn't end well. You get dragged to the bottom of the pool and then you drown. That happened to one of my cousins.
Oh, I'm
You never came
sorry
back.
for your. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine. No one really liked him. He was a bit of a meh in the head.
Sounds kind of like, well, my brother. No one really liked him after a while. I'm pretty sure he was sane.
Same.
I think.
Oh, I knew I recognized you, Fish. Your brother was in the building that exploded, right?
I think. All I know, he's having a permanent sleep.
I know you're not very good with words, but I think you mean dead.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it light since it wasn't too long since I found out.
Oh
And
shit, sorry.
It's
And he
fine.
kind of
I was
like
meant to
covers
be-
his face with his large hands as he realizes he swore. He's like, should have said that.
It's
He kind of like pulls out this amber liquid in a, like, it's not a potion bottle, it's more of a small metal flask. And he just kind of puts it on the table and goes, "You're gonna want that."
What is it?
It make your brain go burr. Otherwise known as alcohol.
Ah, okay. Well,
Brain go burr.
I think I'll be fine without alcohol for a while.
You sure?
I'm sure I would prefer to keep my mind still normal, and I don't want to be drunk.
Okay.
Don't know how much alcohol I can take.
Oh,
So
you a lightweight.
I
He just kind of takes the glass flask, and just like slides it back under the cart, and he just like nods his head, like knowingly. It's like, okay. That's fine. You do you.
Well, never mind. Yeah. Could I possibly? One question: do you accept platinums at all?
He just kind of looks at his money pot underneath the cart and goes, yeah, sure.
All right. Just what was the other ring that you mentioned? There was a ring about the magical fire defense, right?
Oh, yeah. Ring of fire resistance. And he pulls out this, like, copper ring with a red jewel in the middle. It doesn't do normal fire, it only does magical fire. And that's 50.
All right. And how much was the altar appearance?
Well, I'ma give that to. I said I'd give that to you for 30. So all of it is 80.
Okay. I'm trying to remember all the products that you have there.
I got health potions. Health potions, always useful. And they got all potions. At rings of invisibility. I'll do weapons, but Greg does weapons. But his weapons can be a little bit. His weapons are a little bit weird. He gets them from. Well, he calls them all swords. They're not all swords, but every single thing is a sword. I think he's a bit knocked in the head from fighting one too many dragons.
Sounds like an interesting guy.
He's
to be honest.
very funny. He walks around with goats. He's got don't laugh at me. He's got goats.
I'm not laughing at you. I just.
You look like you're laughing at me. He's got
No.
goats. And they're cool.
Why would I laugh at you? You're.
Because I'm small and I have large hands and people make fun of me for that.
I don't see any
Everybody
reason to make
laughs
fun
at
of
me.
you for that.
No? Oh.
No.
He's nice. Oh, you're a good fish. You're a good fish.
All right. So, the ring of flame protection is on my what I'm going to pay and other stuff. How much is for one of the health potions?
Depends on what health potion you want. I got healing, I got greater healing, I got superior healing, and I got supreme healing. That is some fancy ass. And he like sounds like he's about to swear and then stops himself and reels it back in. He goes, stuff. Fancy stuff.
All right. How much is for the? Well, I'm pretty sure I won't be really needing it. How much is for the greater health?
Greater healing. And he kind of like pulls out this little slate board that he's got, and he kind of like looks at some scribbled handwriting. He goes, what's it? 20. I can't read this. 20 gold.
20 gold.
Yeah, we'll say
All
20
right.
gold. He just kind of quickly shoves the slate back under. It's like, I can't read that. Can't read that, but I've got to say 20 gold.
All right. I would like to add that to the amount that I'm buying, please.
Okie dokie. And he takes there's 4 sizes of healing bottles, and he takes the second smallest one and puts it with this little pile of stuff that you've got. So that's
All right.
100 gold pieces.
All right. You mentioned weapons. Did you say that you sold weapons, or the other person sold weapons?
No,
both?
Greg and his goats. He sells weapons, but he says everything's a sword. So, yeah, he's a bit weird about that. Everything's a sword.
Put your mind to it, and it could, but that's some big imagination, to be honest. Well, I'm not against it.
Yeah, I got a big imagination. Swords are cool. I can agree with Greg that swords are cool.
They are kind of cool.
He likes his swords.
Where would Greg be? Like, general direction?
Just look for the goats. Somewhere that way. And in the make me a investigation check quickly.
Oh boy. Why the one with no modifier? Why? Eight.
Okay.
I'm buying new dice. I'm buying new dice for my character.
He points in that general direction, like a general direction, and you turn round, and you think you might have seen a goat. Could have been a dog. Could have been a centaur. Could have been something a lot bigger and a lot scarier. You're not sure.
Okay. I'm just debating whether to buy anything else at all. I'm fearing the acid and monster.
Well, it's not my fault that some of them don't have labels on. I don't label them. I just sell them. My dad labels them. Occasionally the labels fall off. It's always the green ones, though. I think he wants someone to get a goo monster just to find out what happens. I want to know what happens.
He could relabel like what the jump ones to that.
I'm aware. I'm aware what my father can do. That doesn't mean he wants to.
I respect what he's doing. He's making people gamble. But I fear the green.
Don't fear the green. The green is nature. Nature's good.
Nature good. Those the potion gambling and potions. I don't trust that.
Who cares? It's only a little bit of gambling. Doesn't hurt nobody.
What if I drank one of them? Like jump boosts. And I accidentally drank acid.
Why would you drink it? Don't drink them.
What do you do with them? Do you pour them on you? Or like the jump one?
Oh, the jump. No, the jump one's the dark green one.
Okay. There's
a dark green one, but then there's 2 light ones. One of them is a weird goo monster and the other's acid. I don't know which one's which, but when you smashed the bottle, I couldn't tell if it was light green or dark green, so I freaked out and thought a goo monster was gonna come and eat me. Okay? Don't freak me out.
I wasn't going to let that happen. And also,
You can't talk. How do you think you're gonna fight a goo monster?
I haven't needed to fight before. I'm pretty sure I have an ability to fight.
Okay. You can tell from his face he doesn't believe you at all.
Oh, boy. I'm not even going to roll. I'm not even going to ask if I can roll persuasion because I know I'll do bad. Actually, can I roll persuasion?
You can absolutely roll persuasion.
Let's do it for... Just for... Oh, I got big mod on that. Okay, I cannot fail. Why is it the one I can't fail? I get a good number. 18. Why do we high dice?
You kind of... Do you have any weapons on you?
I might need to check that. I need to double check stuff. Did I not add that to my inventory? It's... Yes. Can I hold out 2 weapons?
Go ahead.
Can I... I'm not counting this as a weapon, I just wanted to hold this out. A crowbar and a hand axe.
He kind of stares at you for a second, and he's just like... Don't go breaking into any crates.
I won't.
He just kind of like nods respectfully. He's just like, okay.
I do have other weapons, but might not want to take them out, since one of them yeah, I'm not trying to be scary here.
I'm not scared of you, fish.
I have a question if I can do this.
Go ahead.
Can I try to shoot Eldritch Blast into the sky? Or do I have anything else?
Okay, if you want to shoot it into the sky, I'm going to ask you to do 2 things.
Uh-oh.
First, I'm going to ask you to roll a d20 to see how accurate you
New
are.
word. I'm going to add that to the Urban Dictionary. Accurate. An even more accurate version of accurate. I'm doing that.
Yeah. See how accurate you are.
Okay, oh, that's kind of bad, isn't it? Oh, it has that mod, though. Oh, that's a very good mod. I hope. If you dare give me a nat one, I swear. Why with the high numbers when I have high modifiers? Dice? I hate you. That would be a 25.
A 25. Okay.
Yeah.
Seeing as you weren't attacking anything, it doesn't do any damage. So this ball of pure lightning emerges from your hands as your veins go completely white. And you kind of flick your wrist slightly, and this jolt of lightning bursts into the sky and rains sparks over quite a large lot of you square, and from the other side of town, in the med bay, you hear this faint explosion, kind of sounding like a firework, as lots of sparks flood over the town and evaporate before they hit the floor. And Ash's hands fly up to his ears, but he is kind of just standing there in awe. Go ahead, Warren.
Did Warren or May hear or see this explosion?
You can hear it. It's very faint because it is like quite a way away, but you did hear it.
Is it enough to just sort of jolt?
Yeah, you probably, after everything that happened, a lot of people do either flinch or like you do hear a scream from somewhere. And Amy comes into the doorway and just like pokes her head and goes, "It's okay. It's just some kids messing around.
Can I
It's nothing
shout
to worry
sorry?
about."
I'm just gonna have Warren just sort of after jolting just scurry up and curl up to the side of May, just like holding on, going, "I do not like this."
It's okay, Warren. It's okay.
I scream sorry to the direction where there was a scream.
You only very
What's with
faintly
those?
hear a scream. And Ash is kind of looking at you weirdly because you just shouted sorry into an empty alleyway. He's just kind of like looking at you. He's like, "Okay." Fish gets weirder and weirder. He just like pulls out this deck of cards and starts shuffling them.
Okay. Yeah. I can do that.
That's very cool. Very loud. But very,
Yeah,
very
that's one of my
cool.
less dangerous ones.
Your less dangerous ones?
Well, yes. The ones that doesn't... The less dangerous, damaging one.
Okay.
Do I persuade you that I'm able to fight?
Yeah, okay. You can fight.
Thank you.
You're not completely useless. No one thought you were useless, Fish. Don't worry. Anyway, are you buying this?
Yes, I am buying... You mentioned poison. I have a feeling that I might need it, but I hope that I won't. How much is the poison? Is that 50 as well?
Nope, 10 gold.
Oh, that's low. Okay, I'm not gonna question. Yeah, I'll get that.
Okay. Kinda hoping you don't kill anyone I know, but okay. And he just kind of puts the poison with the rest of your stuff and he's like, "That's 110. You racking up a bill here, buddy."
Oh, don't worry, I can afford. If I wasn't able to, I wouldn't have asked for all this.
Yeah, you better not be owing me, because then I get in trouble.
You said you accept platinums, right?
Yeah?
I hand over the 11 platinum.
Oh. Platinum. He's like standing there and he like takes the handful. He's like, cool. And then for a second he's like looking around and then realizes that he needs to put it in the box and not in his pocket. And he just like puts it in the box, closes the box, and just kind of like glances over his shoulder to make sure no one saw him put 11 platinum in a tin box. And he just kind of shoves it to the back and moves some like heavy books in front of it. He's like, cool. That's all yours. You got a ring of self-alter, a ring of fire resistance to only magical fire. Remember that part. Very important part. Only magical fire.
I would
Greater
expect you to
healing?
run into actual fire.
Yeah. Greater healing, poison, and water breathing, because you a fish.
Okay.
Have fun. Please don't kill me with the poison.
Oh, I won't. I have no intentions of doing that.
Well,
It's our last
clearly you
resort.
have intentions of killing someone. Let's hope it's not... Oh, wait, no, your brother died.
I don't kill people just because they gotta hurt me first. But I won't kill.
Okay, fish.
I'm not very persuasive, am I?
Nope.
Need to buy a dictionary.
You need to learn how to talk first.
Yeah, and a dictionary so then I can have better words.
I think you need to go and, like, talk to someone. Well, you can't talk to someone. Maybe write someone a letter. So then someone can help you learn how to talk properly without the stuttering.
Yeah, writing a letter. Okay.
Can you write? You can write, right?
Yes.
Good.
So many writes. Yes, I can write. Last time I checked.
When was the last time you checked?
I've been busy. I haven't been able to check everything. I think yesterday, 2 days ago.
You might
2 days
want
ago.
to check a little bit more often.
Yeah. I don't need to write that often.
Why not? Go to school.
I did.
Did
I
you?
passed.
Did you not have classes for speaking?
Well,
Did
you
they not
see, it's been
teach
a
you how to
couple
speak
years.
at school? Is that not a thing in your little wizardy school?
It was just a normal school.
Normal
We
school.
didn't normal as in like no magic, only magic history.
Magical history is cool. Until you get into the scary stuff.
Yeah, I think I've heard of Asperdusis before. You remembered. You made me remember that name. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for your help. And sorry about spilling one of your potions that you're selling. Yeah.
I'll see you around, fish.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Why do you call me a fish, by the way?
'Cause you're weird and you can't talk, and your name's Fino, which sounds like fin, which is fish have fins.
Okay, my name, you can't hold that against me. My parents called me that. That's it.
Well, then your parents are bad at naming their children.
Can't remember which mother, though. Yeah, so, yeah, my parents have had worse.
Have them,
Okay.
because I don't think you could get much worse than fish.
My brother, my twin brother, he dropped out of school. He caused trouble in the town that you pointed
Yeah,
out.
but I
by
bet
the
his
way.
name was cooler than fish.
Is Ether cooler? Ethor?
No, your parents are really bad at naming things.
Which is cooler, Pheno or Ethor?
Ash. But my parents didn't name me, so sucks to be you.
Sure, I can make myself a nickname. Phenomenon. No.
No, absolutely not.
No,
You're
no,
now
no.
fish. If you don't use that ring of alter self to turn yourself into a fish, or a fish person, I'ma find you. Because that would be funny.
So how did you say it worked, by the way, that ring? Just put it on, and how do I go about changing exactly?
You just picture it in your head.
So like this, slips on the ring and imagines a fish.
As soon as this ring slips on, is you just imagining like a normal fish?
What was the fish that was mentioned earlier again? This is out of character, by the way.
What kind of? What do you mean? The
The one that is
haddock?
the one that is territorial with water.
Oh, a triton.
Triton, yes.
Hold on. Okay,
Just
so
somehow
they're
misspells Triton in mind and goes for Titan. I'm not doing that. That's a joke for another day.
Okay, so a titan, we'll go with this one, and I will just DM this to you.
The DM is DMing me. Oh,
Whoa.
I feel special.
So you turn into this large humanoid. It's slightly smaller than you. So it's a
Fishman.
5'5" blue fishman. I'm not entirely sure what's going on over there.
Neither do
But
I.
we're
I
just
looked
gonna
away.
leave it.
I looked away.
Yeah, you're blue, you're scaly, you're a fish man, and you can breathe, so you are not currently taking damage.
Okay. I mean, after I transform, so like this, right? Wow, it worked.
See, that's you got it, fish. That's what you need to do.
I have 29 more uses, don't I? Left.
Yeah.
Worth it.
But you can keep it on for like an hour at a time, and it only counts as one use. So like, if you keep it on and take it off and put it back on again and do that like a billion times, then they each count as a use. But if you put it on and keep it on for like the entire day and then take it off at night, that only counts as one use. So it's every time you take off the ring, it doesn't like have a time span.
So I can have it on as long as I want as one figure, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This might help with the people who don't want to look at me.
Fish, are
Okay.
you okay?
Well, my brother kind of made an impression on some people, and the fact that he's dead
Ooh.
is kind of creeping them out that I'm here.
Wait, did your brother look like you?
Yes, we're twins.
Oh, that bad.
Yeah.
That would be freaky. Oh, I can understand why they don't like you.
Yeah, even though my clothing is kind of different from his, but
That doesn't matter. Not when you got the same face as him. You just ain't dead.
that's true. That's true. But knowing that my brother had, I think, was friends, would be surprised.
Ha, your brother got friends and you don't? That
Never
just
mentioned I
sad.
didn't.
That's just sad, bro.
I move around a lot. I clean up his mess, and now I can't
Why are
really
you going
because
around
he's.
cleaning up your brother's mess? Clean up your own mess. You know, you got a stutter going on. You probably should have sorted that out before you sorted out his. Did he have a stutter too?
No. Don't think so.
He was lucky.
Well, lucky in some cases. We won't go into that though.
There's a lot of hiding going on.
Let's all hide. Who are you?
Everyone hide.
Big boat.
Big Mo.
Big boat.
Scatter! Anyway, as the two of you finish up your weird, fishy conversation, we go back to May and Warren, who, around about 5 to 10 minutes ago, heard a large bang. Warren's scared and is now sitting on May's lap.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we've had food.
You have had food. You are currently
We've dealt
kind
with the
of
noise.
sat on May's lap with your head on her shoulder and kind of, you know how like if an adult was to have a child on their lap and they're just kind of like, May's got her arms wrapped around you and her wings are just kind of wrapped around the both of you, so you can only see May's feet. It's just this sparkly winged mass.
Okay. So like Warren's just sort of sitting there, like with his fingers counting, like, we're awake, we have food, up with the noise, we need our stuff, and I don't know where my teddy is. I need that back.
Okay. I will slowly unravel my wings and straighten and up, and then we can go look for our stuff. Maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I have my bag of stuff, but I need armor.
Yes.
Okay. I would like both of you to make me investigation checks.
I get to roll something. Finally.
Hey. Oh, a minute. I will in a moment.
Oh.
When my
Really
combat
fine.
wants to work.
Interesting.
Okay, there we go.
Rolling down the river.
I have
Okay.
11.
11 and power
I have
Daniel.
a glorious 7.
7! You didn't pray to Daniel.
No, I did not. It was a bad idea, but also Warren's a child and has been traumatized by loud bangs. That's my excuse.
It's my excuse as being traumatized. Okay. You kind of like sit up
I'm still kicking Fina in the leg.
and you look around and more or less, other than the good 100 people in here, you can't see any, there's no visible piles of stuff anywhere. You could probably go talk to someone. There's a couple guards, just general guards. They're not really wearing armor, they're more just wearing the, what May would know to be guard colors, which are a royal blue, and a royal blue and a scarlet red. Most of them are just wearing formal clothes with sashes. And yeah, so there's a couple of them wandering around. Yeah.
Okay.
We could speak to one of them and find out if they know where our stuff's being kept, maybe?
No,
No?
they're scary.
I can go ask them if you
Amy.
want.
Amy knows things. You could talk to them. I find Amy. Amy knows things.
Okay.
Okay. Warren, I'm gonna need you to
Yeah.
make me another investigation check.
Let's
There's a
find
lot of
an
people
Amy.
in here.
Monkey.
Thank you. I have a 21.
Well, luckily for
Tell me where
you,
that Amy is.
Amy is a very tall, noticeable person. She's she's tall and she's noticeable in both physical stature and also she's just generally loud. Not bad loud, just she laughs a lot. She talks quite loudly and cheerfully. So you spot her almost instantly. She's talking to the halfling and the other orc that you recognize. And they're all kind of surrounded by various children. The orc is holding 3 babies in her arms. One of them's crawling over her shoulder. And Amy just kind of grabs the child almost by the scruff and just brings it back down onto the floor, where it just starts climbing up the orc's leg. And she's just calmly having a conversation, keeping an eye on the children around her, as you walk up to her.
Just use the infamous leg tug.
She kind of pauses in the middle of her conversation and looks down at you and goes, "Hi, Warren. What can I do?"
Hello again.
Hi.
I need my stuff.
You need your stuff?
I need my stuff so I can get my other stuff and the friends who have my other stuff.
That's a lot of stuff.
I got that stuff to get.
Okay. I can help you with that. And she just kind of turns to the other two and goes, "I will talk to you later." And they're like, yep, it's fine. As you kind of glance and the halfling has a toddler on its head. And there's a lot of small children climbing on things they probably shouldn't. As they kind of, both of these, the halfling and the orc, kind of rush off in various directions to stop children from putting things in their mouths. Because they're children.
Aww.
And even in fantasy worlds, they do that. So Amy kind of holds out one of her hands. It's just the same size as your face. It's like, "Do you want to hold my hand?" No?
Just not, and just grabs a finger. Yes, I'll do.
That works. And she just kind of holds her arm down by her side so you can hold on. And you're holding on to your hand's latched around one of her fingers. It happens to be her pinky. It's still like your hand can just about reach around it. She's a very tall lady. As you're she kind of walks you along. And as you get outside, you see that there is 6 buildings, all of them with big green cross symbols that you would recognize to be medical signs. And then there is a large tent with probably around about 5 guards. These ones wearing leather armor, standing in front of it. And she walks you over and she's like, I need to go inside and get some stuff. And one of the guards just mumbles yep, that's fine, and just kind of lets her pass. And as you walk in and she kind of pulls back this curtain, there's piles and piles of stuff, all with different numbers on tags attached to bags. And she kind of kneels down next to you and she's like, can I see your wrist for a second?
Warren holds up both of them
And something you hadn't exactly noticed before, because the shirt you're wearing isn't really built for someone so small. And it kind of drags a little bit on the sleeves, and she kind of just gently tugs your sleeve back and reveals this small wristband that's kind of just loosely hanging there, with a number. And she kind of just unties it on one side, reads the number off, and just kind of scans the room, and then walks over and picks up this bag that you recognize to be your own.
My stuff.
She just kind of
my stuff. I worked hard for that stuff.
She kind of just places it down in front of you. She's like, that should be all of it. Your armor's there as well. And as she turns it round, attached to the back of your bag is your armor tied with some rope, in kind of this large awkward satchel.
Yeah, just Warren kind of just immediately opens the bag and just starts rummaging through to make sure everything's there. I gotta make sure no one's taking my stuff. Gotta make sure.
Most of it should be all there. No one should have stolen anything.
Just
does your
through.
Does your sparkly friend need her stuff?
Yes. I don't know what her number is though.
Okay. That's fine. We will go and find her, and we can get her number.
It's Warren reaches in and pulls out this little kind of bottle thing. It has a load of shiny colored gems, and it's yes, my special stuffs. We are good. Just picks up his little bag and starts waltzing out the door, still holding his little bottle thing.
Amy just kind of watches you as you just pick out this little bottle and just shove all of your stuff into on your back and in your arms and just waltz out. And she's just you got a feisty temper for someone so small. You just very altogether feisty. She just kind of walks out, and as you walk out, there's 3 guards just watching you in surprise and utter amazement at the amount of stuff that such a small child is carrying. And the fact that you are such a small child who is just strutting their stuff.
just like Warren holds the stuff and kind of just like this little turn of the head and goes, "I got my stuff." And continues walking.
One of the guards goes, "Oh God, I wish I was like that kid." He just like goes back to like standing really still. He's just like, "This is so boring." And Amy walks out and it's just like, "Thanks, Fred." And one of the guys just goes, "Yep, okay," and just like closes the door behind her. Okay, May.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I was gonna speak to those guards that we saw to see where the stuff was.
So you walk up to one of these guards who is like half casually leaning, almost as if he's ready to spring up if, say, a superior walks past. And he's just kind of casually standing there, and you're just kind of like, you just kind of look up at him slightly. He's just like, he just kind of springs into like almost action. It's just like, "Yeah, hi, what can I do for you?" Totally wasn't just standing there.
I was wondering if you know where, like, my stuff is, you know?
Your stuff.
Yeah.
Like your bags and belongings?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Anything that wasn't destroyed in the explosion will be in that tent. And he points to where you can currently see Warren strutting his stuff with a large bag.
Oh, there's my friend. Thank you.
"No problem." And just like out of the corner of your ear, you just hear, "Jeffries, do something useful." He's like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry, sir, yes, sir." Just like, you just hear this patter of feet as he's just like, he's gone. You don't know where, but he's gone.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, Warren.
Hello, I got my stuff and
Yay.
I got my stuff.
It's
Yay.
a very muffled,
Got my
"I got
special
my
race,
stuff"
just-
from the large bag.
You got your stuff. I need to go get
Yeah,
mine.
just like a hand with like the little bottle filled with gems pops up. Like, "I got my special stones too. We good."
Woo! I suppose I should go look for my stuff.
And Amy, who's
There's a lot of
a
stuff in there.
good couple paces behind Warren, just kind of comes up behind them and goes, there's a band on your wrist. It's got a number on it. There's a tag on your bag. Any of your stuff will have the same number."
Okay. Thank you.
I gotta go and make sure that this one doesn't trip anyone over. She just goes, "Yeah, come on, Warren, let's go inside."
Just like a mildly little offended noise comes from behind the back.
And she's like, you feel this large hand just like lightly pat your head. It's like, "Yeah, I know. Okay, come on, let's go."
Yeah.
Small.
And May, you are gonna need to make me a investigation check.
Okay. Oh. 20.
20. It takes you
Sure.
a second. There's a lot of stuff in here. The guards just kind of let you walk through, as you're just like kind of untying your wristband.
Right.
Clearly having seen you talking to Amy, and you're just kind of looking around. There's a lot of stuff. Eventually you do find your bag. Your clothes that you did have are slightly ruined, wearable, but could do with some repairs.
Yeah.
But other than that, the bag itself is a little bit tattered. But by the looks of things, volunteers and anyone who's tried to help have like cleaned up your armor and anything, and your bag and any of your clothes to the best of their ability.
Hey, that's nice.
Okay.
I'll pick it up and leave.
And as you are walking out, there is you can kind of see like a bucket, and it's already full of all of these little band things, one that you were wearing. So you just kind of put it in there as you walk past. And yeah, so you both have your stuff now.
Yay.
Fino's still a fish.
Fishman.
And Dira, you are still in prison.
Your fault,
Criminal.
not mine.
Murderer.
Ah.
Okay. May, did you want to talk to anyone about the seeing a Dira?
Well, Selika, she forgot and went to just look for Warren and where Warren and Amy went.
Okay.
Wow.
So Warren, you are kind of ushered back into the medical building where May's bed is, and Amy kind of lifts you and your stuff up onto the bed, and is just kind of like, okay, are you okay now? Do you need anything else?
Well, I need to go get my other stuff. And the person who has the other stuff.
Do you know where that was? That person? Do you know if that person was anywhere near the explosion when it happened?
They were at the tavern. I'm not sure which one, but it was like city center wise.
Okay, so most of the city center and the northern part of the town are completely fine. It's only like the bottom corner. So if they were in anywhere other than the bottom corner, they should be okay.
Yeah, I do need to go get my stuff. And I do need to go see them again. Do need to do that. And then there's the other one.
The other one?
Adria, you're the other one.
Yeah, the other one.
Yeah.
Why don't you go and get your stuff off of your other friend first? And then maybe you'll be able to talk to someone about seeing Adria.
Okay, so I need to find the person first. Which is going to be hard.
Well, why don't you retrace your steps and go back to the tavern first?
Can't be that hard to find someone walking around with a dragon teddy and like a set of twins. It can't be that hard.
You never know. There's a lot of twins around here.
I know one set.
Yeah.
2 sets actually.
Two
Enough
sets? Good for you. I know like 11. I know a set of, well, there are 5. There's 5. So not quadruplets.
Quintuplets?
Quintuplets? Yeah, I think they're quintuplets.
Does that mean 4?
No, quadruplets is 4. Quintuplets would be 5, I think.
So you have twins and triplets and then quadruplets and quintuplets and a lot of kids.
It is a lot of kids.
I know a lot of kids.
And Amy's just like, you can't hear it, but like somewhere in the distance, like Amy's eyes just kind of flicker And she's like, well, why don't you go and you see if you can find the tavern that you were staying at, or your friend was staying at, and maybe the owner of the tavern will know where they are if you can find them.
No, one has my stuff, but there's 4 of them.
There's 4. Well, it's easier to find a group of people than just one.
Yeah. Okay. Now I just need to remember where the tavern is.
Do you remember the name of the tavern?
No. I do remember what it had in it.
Will May know the name of the tavern?
Yes. We met in the tavern. Yeah. I can't remember the name, but I do know that the bathrooms they have the cogs in them and the running water. That's warm.
Running warm water.
With cogs.
Don't happen to... You didn't meet like a small gnomish man with dark skin and like green hair. Green hair? Does he have green hair?
Probably.
He used to have green hair.
Because like it was the innkeeper was a gnome.
Yeah,
So-
his name was his name Gregory? You remember?
Yeah, Gregory.
You're looking for the quacking pig. It's at the top of the town. It's near the entrance.
Yeah, we had to walk a long way to the tower place where the whole blowy uppy thing happened. So probably, yeah.
Yeah. I know this town pretty well. Lived here all my life. So. I will leave you with that. I gotta go and do some other stuff. But you need anything else, Warren, you come find me, okay? I hope you find your friend.
Me too. I need my stuff back.
And she kind of chuckles as she wanders into the distance. Okay.
Thanks, Kevin. Buildings can't move. We'll be fine.
Buildings can't move. Are you sure about that?
Just wait.
No. Not really.
No? Okay. We are coming near to the end of our session. So, before we do end, is there anything anyone wants to do?
Find the tavern?
That might take you a while. You can start. You can start.
Yes.
Okay.
Start walking towards
you
the tavern.
are you walking on your own, or are you roping May into this?
Oh, May's coming too, because she probably knows where it is more than me. just like sort of fine, sparkly, like grab a hand going, to the tavern! I need my stuff.
May, you have this small gnome just grab your wrist and go to the tavern.
Let's go.
In the as you're both kind of like in a weird sidestepping dance, like singing some made up shanty about a tavern. You just, out of the corner of your eye, see Amy and the satyr who helped Warren this morning just look at you and burst into laughter. It's just like...
Gee.
And Amy's just like, I love kids sometimes. I love kids. And just like walks off. You guys are slowly making your way through town. Eventually you're singing dies off as you slowly walk through town.
Sort of like just like sort of strutting along.
Strutting along with all of your stuff strapped to your back. Some of your armor is on. It's still quite tattered. And it probably will need to be fixed up. But currently all you care about is Aaron.
I get my stuff back and see how he's doing.
Yeah.
One of them is already dead. We don't need the other one.
Okay. Does anyone else want to do anything? Dira or Fino?
Can I go see Greg?
You can go see Greg.
But can I change out of fish form first?
You can absolutely. It doesn't take anything. You just take off the ring.
I'm Fino again.
And Ash is talking to someone else, trying to explain what some potion does. As you wander off into the distance looking for a man with goats. It's all you've got. Small man with goats.
All right.
So I'm gonna need you to make me a investigation check.
Okay.
Okay, and
I froze
you
almost
froze.
everything.
Yeah, your camera hasn't moved.
Yeah, no, and my phone app currently disconnected.
Aiden the ice cube.
Aha, aha, aha.
Okay.
I'm an ice cube now.
Saran, I want you to roll me one of these, which is your percentile die, which is the weird one. It's got a double
Who's rolling
zero
what?
on it. That might I think that's D12.
I rolled a 20, by the way, for my investigation.
You rolled a 20. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Can you find the
Uh-oh.
percentile die?
Which one is it?
It's this one. It's got all of the big numbers on it.
I
So
can't
it's got
see it.
it's got
It's not you.
it's
It's
got
a dice
30,
with,
it's got 70,
it goes
it's
up
got
in
50.
tens. Like 10, 20,
Oh, that one.
30, 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and Mina,
Hold on.
because you haven't done anything most session.
60.
60. You can roll me a
Yes.
D10.
Am I fixed?
A D10.
Sorry, what do you want me to do?
Roll a D10.
I'm assuming it's the other one.
The one that ain't goes up to 10.
7.
Sorry, what do you want me to do?
Roll
Sorry,
a D10.
Mother was in here. D10. Oh god. Which one's that one again? I swear to God, I will get used to these dice. It's D20. Where's my D10 dice? Wait, hold on. Wait, Jackson, which one's my D10 again? 'Cause I don't
It
think I have
only
it.
goes up to 10.
Well, it
This
goes up to
one.
9.
It goes up to 9. It's got a 0.
It's the
Okay.
spin top
That
one.
one, I got it. I thought I didn't have it. I couldn't find it for a second. I was just making sure. Was anything on it?
Nope, just a D10.
6.
6.
Yes.
I imagine.
Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce.
I'll be epic.
Sauce is awesome.
The sauce is awesome. How many's that? Perfectio.
I'm scared.
Oh my.
I'm scared.
I won't lie to you, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'm terrified.
Okay,
Adira.
Oh god.
As you are kind of calmly sitting in this dungeon, there is a barred window behind you, which you can tell leads out onto a street. Somewhere, you're presuming main central area, considering the amount of hustle and bustle there is. From outside, you can hear the footsteps of something incredibly large. And as you kind of turn, purple fur blocks your view as this large bear-like claw of almost violet fur stomps past ever so slowly. And then as you're looking through, a red claw-like hand, a small face, pops into view. You jump back as you see piercing yellow eyes of a red face of something gremlin-like, smile going straight to his ears, opening into this fanged, fiery grin as flames burst out of its head. It grapples onto the bars, flames protruding from its hands, blows out a burst of fire and melts all of the bars.
Well then.
Lucky about that.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
It's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Bros, this certainly is not Obi-Wan Kenobi.
We're definitely not ones.
Can I kind of just look back at Gerald and go like, what is that thing?
How rude.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Gerald's asleep.
I was gonna say Gerald. Can I find like a stone and like launch it at his skull or something, or like a leg?
Roll me an attack without proficiency, so just a straight d20.
Okay, that I can do.
That instantly kills.
That is a 20.
Okay,
Roll me
fear.
2d6.
That's a 4.
You find this like small rock, and you manage to curve it ever so slightly so it launches through your bars, then his, and hits him square in the head.
Wake up, Gerald. Oh my god.
Blood starts trickling from this large bump in his head, and it just goes over his nose and mouth, and he starts spluttering blood. He's like, What? What the? What the hell? What the?
Sorry.
What was that for?
That.
Holy shit!
What is
the
that?
fuck is that thing? And
I don't know, that's why I woke you up.
as you're standing there, like, shouting at Gerald through the bars, he's just watching this thing crawl through the space that it's just made into your cell.
Go to the bars. Go to the bars.
It makes this strangled kind of cackle, just like...
What the fuck are you? What are you? Help.
It just sticks its, like, fiery, like, split tongue out, and then crawls back up.
What is that?
What was the need?
And then it sticks his head back in, and just like... and just, like, backs itself out.
Is that language or is that a sign or something? What?
It's something from the gods.
Mina, roll
scared.
me. Let's find out what you need to roll me. We're gonna say a history check.
I can't hear you. What?
A history check
History, okay.
with advantage. So roll twice and choose the higher number.
Oh god.
Remember the modifiers if we have any.
20.
It suddenly overwhelms you as this thing sticks its head back through and goes, and it's suddenly as if your mind goes clear. It just goes, come on, hurry up,
Go? Hello?
it just backs itself out, and then you just see these two large beady eyes with this large beak, and this owl-like bear creature just like poke its head through, and it just makes a quiet growl.
Woof.
Okay, but what about Gerald? What about my friend? He's also here for no reason.
We're not breaking him out. We're breaking
Why
you
are you
out.
breaking- Why are you breaking me out? Who are you?
Do you not know who your father is?
No!
Did we break the wrong person out?
Sorry, I'm loving this voice. I'm torturing you right now. Wait, what?
I feel like we broke the wrong person out. Did we fuck up? And the bear's just like standing there, just like.
Loving these.
I'm loving these voices. Please, just chef's kiss.
D&D
And
sessions
another
are not this all the time.
one of these weird red gremlin-looking things comes around the corner, and
Mina's a gremlin
just
confirmed.
like pours itself through this hole, and its fiery hand just grabs yours, and then its red tongue just up your hand.
Hell. Like slap it away, like get it off.
It just, as it like gets thrown across the room from you like hitting it away, it hits the back wall and just like, nope, the right one.
You know what I taste like? I beg your pardon.
Gerald's just sitting there like absolutely fucking stunned. It's just like, how do you? It licked you.
Gerald, don't ask. I'm equally confused.
Why did it lick?
Me.
Also, its hands are made of fire. How are you not burnt?
I don't know. Now I'm sounding like the thing. God, it's happening.
I don't know.
What the fuck? That's my thing.
Don't steal Dragon's thing.
This
Orca.
the gremlin's just like, come on. You're fucking useless. Get out of the hole. We're done
Okay,
with
but
your
that
present.
thing. That specimen that is like a stick that's somehow still alive.
Fine. Break him on too. The fuck? Boss is gonna kill us.
Okay.
And this thing just walks over and just starts melting the bars. And he just goes, why am I doing this? Why aren't you? And just points to you, Adira.
Do I look like I have fire abilities? Do I look like I can do what you're doing? Do I have fire
Both
abilities?
of these small fire gremlins are just standing there, just like, how do you? And they just sit there and they're just like, okay, we're just gonna, and they just break through the bars, crawl to the other side, break through those bars, and you can just hear Gerald screaming.
Gerald, it's okay. I think. Maybe, I don't know. Honey, just figure it out.
What is it?
I don't know.
Why is it here?
I don't know. Apparently
Fine, but we gotta hurry up because probably there's guards and shit.
Let's go. You first. I'll go after you. Go, go, go.
Why do I have to go first?
So I know you're alive.
Okay. He just like quietly sidesteps around these like weird gremlin-y things. And then as soon as you're out of the hole, you climb yourself up and these like weird gremlin-y things like crawl around. As soon as you step out, oh, we've all switched positions now.
Why am I small?
As soon as you all step out, both you and Gerald drop. All you can
Drop?
see is black.
Oh, for God's sake, I was gonna make a run for it. Come on.
There's sparks of red, as you are just slowly, it's almost as if you're falling in slow motion. But you're also floating, as you're just gliding slowly down.
So I'm just this.
You're
I'm
just slowly
floating.
gliding, but it feels as though you should be floating.
Okay.
And you don't seem to be, as you look down, even with your dark vision, you can only see black. But you can hear Gerald screaming at the top of his lungs.
I know he's alive at the start. As long as Gerald's
That man
alive.
just don't die.
Look, if this guy dies, I'm literally gonna hold a funeral for him. I swear to God.
How did he live?
And
I don't know.
that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
You're leaving me with a gremlin? Oh God.
The gremlin's not in the hole with you.
Even better. Where am I? My poor character is so confused.
Okay.
Just Warren's got some of his stuff back.
Yeah. Lauren, you're doing alright, honey. I'm crying in the corner.